Okay, here we go with some hints for homework sheet number 9. First question is just a nice wee simple calculation. The only thing we need to remember is BODMAS. So because we've got a multiplication in there, we need to do that bit first of all. Once you get the answer to that, then we add on the 2.1. Non-calculator. Second one, same sort of thing as the first one. This time we've got brackets, so we're going to do the brackets first. So 3 take away 1 to get your new whole number as a 2 at the start, and then looking at the 3 and the 4 on the bottom tells me my new number is going to be 4. Get your new numbers on your top and find your answer. Once you've got that, you now look at the 2/5 part. So that's 2/5. Off means times. Turn this fraction top heavy. Do some cancelling and get your answer. 3. Solve this equation. Now the only way we can solve an equation equal to 0 is by factorising. So we need to decide what goes in the brackets. Once we know what goes in the brackets for the factorising, then we can write down what x equals. It's just like finding the roots. And 4, what's the gradient of this line? Now the first thing we need to do with this question is we need to get it into the form y equals mx plus c. Because if we get it into this form, then your answer is just going to be that number there. So what do we need to do? We need to move the negative 2x over, and we need to move the plus 10 over. So if we move them over, we'll have 5y equals something. And then if we divide by the 5, we'll have this number divided by 5 times x, and this number divided by 5. Okay, therefore we can identify what our gradient is. For question 5, we need to solve this inequality, an equation. So remove the brackets. So 19 minus 2 times x minus 2 times minus 3 bigger than or equal to 6x add 7. Okay, now once we've done that, we want to get the x's over to this side, and we want to get the numbers over to that side. You'll then have so many x's is bigger than or equal to a number. If you've done it properly, you'll have a negative sign here, guys. So you want to turn that back to a positive, so that's going to turn that sign round. And then it's going to change this number as well. Question 6. Solve this equation. Now you might think that this is just a repeat of question 3, because it's got a squared in it and it equals 0. Okay, however, this one doesn't factorise, and it also says in the question, give your answer to 1 decimal place. So this question is one of these with a big formula, negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. So write down what your a is, write down what your b is, write down what your c is. Now remember, a is the number before x squared. So what's the number before x squared? B is the number before the x. So what's the number before the x? And then c is the number on its own. Okay, so identify these 3 things and then plug them into the formula. Question 7. Question gives you a picture of a whole big circle, but we're only interested in one wee segment. Okay, calculate the perimeter. So the perimeter, that's going to be the distance up this edge, the distance up this edge, and this curved part. So work out the arc first of all, alpha over 360 times pi d. Work out the arc, so get that answer, and then add on to it this radius and this radius to get your full perimeter. Question 8, proving the triangle is right angled or not. So here's a similar example here. Numbers are a wee bit easier than yours, but the principle is exactly the same. And I'm going to go through this, and you're going to copy this and basically put it in for your answer. So let's give some letters to the corners, A, B, C. So I'm going to work out AB squared. So I'm going to do 3 squared, which is 9. And then I'm going to do AC squared, which is 4 squared, which is 16. And then I'm going to do BC squared, which is 5 squared, which is 25. Okay, so all I've done first of all is I've taken each side and squared them. 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared. Now once I've done that, let's move this up a wee bit. We then take the two small ones, this one here and this one here. So we take AB squared and we add on AC squared. So we take the 9, add the 16, and we can work that out as 25. Now with a wee bit of luck, that will answer, or it will equal your other number. So if it does equal it, then you write down equals BC squared. If it didn't equal it, you'd put a line through there to say it does not equal it. Okay, so I'll let you work out whether it equals it or not. And then once you've done that, the last wee thing you write down is that the triangle is right angled by the converse of Pythagoras. If it didn't equal it, then you would write down the triangle as not right angled by the converse of Pythagoras. Okay, but everything that's there on that page, that's what I expect to see for question 8. Okay, the numbers will be different, but do not miss any of those little steps out. And that's us, guys.